how did you actually get started in the property industry?
And then I get a call and it's like Lebs. He's like, Neo, dude, I'm gonna hit something on you, and you shouldn't look back. You know, if you've never taken out 5,000 just like that for a course ever before, it's gonna hit you.
So now, how do we actually move ourselves from having a poor mindset to having a rich mindset, right?
Hello.
This is Nong and this is Lewu.
Neo,
It should be written right here, right?
just there. So today,
We're going to start off the second season, right? But now, before we start off the second season, we actually want to tell you what Nong Wealth is about, and we also want to show you what we are about, right?
Yes.
So now, before Nong Wealth, who is Lebu and who is Newa, right?
Sure.
I don't think we have actually had the time to actually talk to you about who we are and where we come from.
I mean, who's Lebu? I'd like to know what Lebu does. Who is Lebu?
Wouldn't you like to know? Wouldn't you like to know? So now we're going to actually talk about ourselves. So now, Neo, tell me, how did you actually get started in the property industry? This is an interview between you.
Well, with the property going into property, it was quite interesting. You know, Lebza is my younger brother, so I think that he's the youngest. So what happened was that I was interning in Pretoria. It was quite interesting, and then I got a call, and I was earning 5,000. It was 5,000 at that point in time. So, so I was earning 5,000 interning. It was quite interesting, man. I was just after varsity, you know, things are going right. I can see myself that after 1 year, I'll be having a house. After another year, I'll be getting my car and things will be going smoothly. And then I get a call. And it's like Lebza. He's like, Neo, dude, I'm gonna hit something on you, and you shouldn't look back, man. Just go with it. And he's like, I hope you're seated, and I need money, man. I need money to invest. So he was attending a property seminar, and it got to that point in time. They're like, are you pulling the trigger or what, man?
Yeah.
And so the guy, knowing him, and he doesn't waste time, and he's like, I'm pulling this trigger. And then he called me. He's like, no, come on, hook a guy up and you won't regret. Hey, you know, if you've never taken out 5,000 just like that for a course ever before, it's gonna hit you. You're gonna be like, am I gonna go for it? Am I not gonna go for it? Or should I or shouldn't I? So many questions came through, but then you know what? Knowing Lebza, knowing my brother, I was like, I won't hesitate, man. I trust you. Let's go for it. So after that year, he was like, no, you know what we can do? Let's just go full time into property and leave whatever career path that you were for. So then I didn't look back, man. I trust him with my life. He'll never let me down. He'll never lead me astray. And that's what happened. That's how I got into property. So do you want to tell us how you ended up into property?
So now this is what happened, right? It was years back right now. It was years back. We got a book from one of our uncles, right? I'm sure this is the book right here. We got a book, and this book, it really changed how I actually view life, right? Because now the author Robert Kiyosaki actually was talking about his rich dad and his poor dad, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys have actually read that Rich Dad and Poor Dad. But now what I asked myself is that after reading this book, am I actually going to implement the things that I've actually learned?
Or is it just going to be another book?
Or is it just going to be a book, right? Because now when I read a book, I want to understand what did I read? How can I actually implement it within my life, right? So now after reading this book, I fell in love with what this guy was saying, because now he was talking about how the rich get richer and how the poor get poorer, right? So now we've always had that thing, rich get richer, poor get poorer, right? So now after reading that book, I started to understand, okay, this is how rich people actually operate, and this is how poor people actually operate, right? So now how do we actually move ourselves from having a poor mindset to having a rich mindset, right? So now after reading that book, I think it was in my matric year, right? I had to do everything correct, because now the parents were always telling us that, hey man, you have to go work. After work, in fact, you have to go to varsity. After varsity, you have to go to find a job. After finding a job, then after 10 to 15 years, then you can start thinking about what kind of business you have, because then after you'd have a safety net, right? But now, while I was still in varsity, I something in me clicked that, okay, I wonder if I could actually open a rich dad company within South Africa, right? Then I typed um, rich dad company in South Africa. There was actually one, right? So someone beat me to it.
You're slow.
Yes, someone beat me to it. So I was like, okay, let me go see what these guys have for us, right? So now when I got there the first time, they were saying that, man, you can do a lot in property, right? There's a lot of strategies that you can actually use in property. And I was like, oh my God, I'm excited. And when it got to the end, they showed us the price. And I was like,
No, you're not like you're like I know someone.
no, no, that was the first time that I went there.
Oh,
The first time.
Oh, the first time.
The first time when I went there, I was like,
Also, you've been going there without telling me.
that was the first time, right? So now, the second time when I went there, I already knew what the presentation was going to be.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
The
yeah.
presentation, how it went, is that they were going to give us content on what they did.
Okay.
After giving us the content on what they did, they gave you the estimate of how much that whole cost would be, right?
And
And
then
then they'll actually close you with that. How much is it actually going to cost?
Mm.
When they closed us about how much it's actually going to cost, and they're only giving us 5 minutes. That was 5 minutes to close this guy. So I take my phone and call this guy and say, hey man, there's a thing like this that I actually want us to be part of, right?
Uh-huh.
This is going to change the rest of our lives, right? And he's like, man, that's my whole salary, dog. And I'm like, man, if we do not do this right now, we're going to live like this for the rest of our lives.
Man, as I did say, I was earning 5K, man. And
You're
you were
going
just
to
gonna
earn-
take that 5K with one blow, man.
You're going to earn 5K for the rest of your life. Is that what you want to do? And he was like, man, you're putting me in a tight spot. And I'm saying, man, give me your account number right now and we'll see the rest, right? And then we couldn't do it. We couldn't process the transaction at that particular point, right? Because I didn't have my card with me. But now what I did is that I left them a deposit and I gave them, and I signed a document of saying that I'm actually going to come to the event, right? Then later on the day, we made the purchase, $5,000, his whole salary. His whole salary. So now that's how we actually
Man, you don't
made the
disclose
purchase,
such, eh?
right?
It's a secret.
It's not a secret. It's not a secret when you actually confident in how
True,
much you actually
true,
earn, right?
true.
It's not a secret. If you're not confident with what you earn, then it becomes a secret.
But then what if I don't trust the people that I'm around?
I mean, that's a story for another day. So now that's what happened. And then after varsity, I've been telling my friends that I'm not going to work after varsity, man. I'm sure my friends can actually testify on this. I wasn't going to work after varsity. I was going to go straight in the property industry. That's what I actually think, right? Why do you actually want to waste time going around things and trying to build a safety net? At the end of the day, that would be the only net that you're only going to fall into, right? That's what I believe. I believe that if I'm actually going to go to work and actually put my energy into this work, right, that's going to be my only net. Because now once you're in that circle of people who are employed within that circle, right, that becomes the way of life, right? Then your property ideas actually decrease, right? Because now you're not surrounded by people who actually love doing business. So now, thank God, I was able to close him. Then we were able to actually enter into the property industry.
And how, I mean, there's something that's quite interesting that you just said, man. You know, most of the time is that you go to school after varsity, or even if it's not after varsity, after school, you're seeking for work.
Yes.
But now you took the other route. So now, how has it been? How has it been for you with regards to just jumping from school directly into something that you love, and whereby everybody's like telling you that no, you're actually missing the point. You should do it this way, this way, and this way. But now you went the other way around.
I mean, being in a mind state of knowing that when I'm going to do something, it's going to require hard work, there's going to be hardships, right? In that seminar, they made it seem as if it was going to be easy. It was going to be something that you wake up, you call someone, and someone says, hey man, I'm ready to do this. And then it becomes one thing, goes to another, right? For me, I've always knew that this is going to be something that I have to actually work hard for it, right? But now, knowing that this is something that I love doing, that's what actually kept me going, man.
Can we, like, in a nutshell, from what you said, to all the entrepreneurs or anybody out there who wants to pursue that dream, is that you should understand that there are hardships.
Yes.
You should actually invest in yourself to the point whereby when hardships come through, you're actually ready for them. Because now I know that out there, that especially with this thing of entrepreneur following your dream, is that things are going to be easy.
Yes.
You're going to become a millionaire, you're going to have flashy cars, you're going to be living in a nice apartment and all of that. Whereas in actual fact, there's a lot of hard work to be done. Even when you get there actually will still be a lot more work to be done and more challenges that are coming your way.
Definitely. Hard work never goes. It's not just within property, right? Within anything that you're doing, right? It always requires hard work. It always requires you to sweat blood. Until you haven't sweat blood, you haven't actually felt anything, right? So now, within this long range from when we actually did the property course until right now, right? It's been a long while for us, right? Trying to plan, strategize, and actually getting deals, right? It's been a long way. But now, in hindsight, looking back, I wouldn't have done anything else.
True.
This is where I actually want to be.
I mean, one of the things with what Lebs has just said right now, one of the things that the conversation that we had with our younger cousin was that, okay, man, you know what? Once you find that thing that you love, you should actually be in the zone. You should be in the zone whereby, I'm not saying that nobody will tell you, but once your eye is fixed on the target that I will achieve this thing, that should be the only thing in your mind, that I will achieve this thing. No matter even if I fail 10 times or 100 times, I will achieve this thing. So that's one of the things that through our hardships, through what we've learned throughout the years, is that once you have your mindset or something, is that the only thing that should be in your mind is that I will achieve that thing. Nothing else, nothing more.
Okay. For someone who's just starting out, right? Who's just starting out within property and always has this vision of property, going into property. I want to go into property. What advice do you have? I mean, I know that right now we haven't been on the billionaire scale, right? But now, knowing the property industry, knowing what the property industry has, and knowing what actually property can do for you, do you have any advice on what if someone is actually one leg in and one leg out?
Man, the first advice that I'd actually like to give out is that you need to know your numbers. You can't run away from numbers when it comes to property. You need to know what is your return on investment. You need to know what is your cross. If I want to become a property mogul, but I don't understand the small things before you even get to buying, but you don't understand the small things that are going to contribute towards me being successful in that field, I'm playing the game wrong. I need to know the strategies that are out there. As much as we all know property, but there's so many strategies, and we will go through them with other videos that we're going to post. I mean, there's something like 10 strategies out there. What strategy best suits me where I am right now financially? Where
Definitely.
I am right now with regards to my career path in property. Am I still new, or am I in the have I been in the game for so long that I want to relax a bit? What strategy is going to best suit me?
Definitely. I mean, just to jump in there, there's a lot of strategies, right?
Sure.
And not property isn't a one size fits all, right? As we said, that you actually have to look at your financial status, right? You need to look at where you are in life. How much time do you actually have? You can actually have a lot of you can be in property, right, but not doing property the same way that we're doing property, right? For now, what we said that we're doing is that we're actually buying houses below market value, we're revamping them, and then we're actually selling them back into the market, right? But now, for someone who doesn't have all the time to actually be 100% in the property industry, what they can actually do is that they can actually find guys who are actually investing, right, and invest with them, right? That's one thing that they could do. The another, yes, that's a joint venture, right? Another thing that they could do, I mean, let's not even go into the next property video, because now we're actually going to explain the different types of property, ways of investing in property. Yes.
I mean, just for clarity, what Nong does is that we always explain that there's two legs to Nong. The first leg is whereby we buy the property below market, we fix it, then we sell it back. The second leg is that's where we actually do teachings, education about property and property investment.
Definitely.
So because now the thing is, the one with the teaching, I'm sure you like guys, why do you want to do everything in property? It's just that I remember right after matric, we were tutors for quite some time, about 7 years, and this thing has grown so fond on us, man. I mean, you can see this guy has that maths face. So we're in love with numbers, and now we were able to connect it. We were able to connect that with our property venture. So it's been quite awesome, and we hope that you guys are liking what we do, and we're adding value to what you see day in, day out throughout Nong Wealth. And thanks for your support, guys.
So now, in closing, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And just to touch on the previous video on the Black Friday. That video really did well, right? It did well. It did well. Thank you if you actually watched that video. If not, I'll put it just here. You can just click here and then you'll see the Black Friday video.
Guys, so the next post that we'll be doing, we're actually starting with season 2. I'm so excited about season 2 because season 2, we did say that we've got a whole new angle towards it. We will be posting our walk while we walk the property. We will be posting how we run numbers. We'll be posting everything to the detail of how we do these deals. So hope you guys are ready for season 2. Watch the space.
Nong Well.
Signing out.